And welcome to food webs. So food chains can be connected together to make food webs. The diagram shows a food web in a lake. So let's have a look at this diagram that we can see. This is a food web in a lake. So here we go. So we start off with the pondweed in the lake, the algae, which are tiny plants, and obviously the dead leaves that blow away from trees into the lake and they sink to the bottom. So we can see here that a tadpole will eat a pondweed, and a water beetle is likely to then eat a tadpole, which is a baby frog, and then a large fish is likely to then eat a water beetle. With regards to algae and tiny plants, a water snail will feed on algae. A small fish would then feed on a water snail, and finally a grebe will actually eat a small fish. And this is also, can you see these small lines here? That shows us that the snail could also feed on a dead leaf and algae and a pondweed as well at the same time. So starting from here, a water louse will feed on a dead leaf, and a small fish is likely to also feed on a water louse. And here we have a newt, and a grebe will actually feed on a newt. Okay, so this is how the water cycle and the food chain actually functions, where you've got interconnections in between different organisms and creatures as well. And in this case, the source of a food web, the beginning of a food web, starts from the plants and the tiny plants in the lake, pondweed, algae, and the dead tree leaves. And then slowly but surely, the animals get bigger. So bigger animals feed on smaller animals, and so on, and insects. So tadpole, water snail, and water louse will only feed on tiny plants, whereas a water beetle and a small fish will feed, and a newt will actually feed on insects. And then finally, at the end of our food chain, we've got the large fish and the grebe that will actually feed on the smaller fish, the newt and the water beetle. So that's how the food chain works. Now, this is only a food chain of a particular area, this being the lake. You can have a food chain in a forest, a food chain in a wild reserve, and many there could be a food chain in your garden. So that's how the food chain works. Thank you.